Okay, so there's a thing called Shopify Partners. If you Google it, you can't miss it, where you would create an account, much as we've created as an agency, because we work with a lot of stores, as you can see, a lot of clients we've done on Shopify. And when you create a store via the Partners app, as soon as your customer, or it can be even you, start paying the monthly subscription in Shopify, you get some money back. It's usually between 15 and 25%, let's say 20% of the monthly revenue you get back. And this might not seem a lot, but if you have 10 clients, for example, which you've created the store and later transferred, I'm going to show you this, you can make some good money on this, because it compounds. 10 stores, and if a client pays $70 a month, you get 14 times 10, you get, I don't know, $140 a month. For a year, that's close to $2,000. It's free money, so why not get it? Okay, so if you create a store via your partner's account, it counts as a development store, and I'm going to do just that right now. So I'm going to add a store, development store. You can create two types of stores. The one would be to test, to create something and then transfer the ownership to the client. This is the most common case. And managed store is when a client wants you to work with their Shopify. They can either give you simple access, create an account for you as a staff account in Shopify, or this is the thing that you might want to choose, because you can manage it via the partner dashboard. This would basically request access on your behalf to a given store, and you can specify the different permissions that you want and so on. In our case, we're gonna just create a new store. This is going to be, I don't know, SM Masters Academy demo store. The URL would be something.myshopify.com. Don't worry, you can change your domain later. You can add an existing domain, buy a domain directly from Shopify. It doesn't matter. I'm going to show you this. The main email that you're going to use to log in, password, and create store, disable to use developer preview. We don't need this. Some address in there. You can edit all of this. Store purpose, build a new store for a client. Okay, click save. Shopify is creating the store. So there's a different way to create this, of course. If you don't want to do the whole partner thing and so on, you can just click on start free trial, and basically it's going to take you through a similar process, and you can create the store for yourself. I'm showing you the way that we do it and the way that I suggest that you guys do it. So now my store is created. It's located in this address, Masters Academy. Basically, you can choose this address when creating the store, and when you access it, it says that it needs a password. For Shopify, always when you're trying to figure out where something is within the administration, within the panel, just search for it. So it's asking me for a password here, and I'm gonna just write store password because I forgot where this was. Made a typo. Made two typos. Yeah. Okay. So it takes me there. I'm gonna disable the password for now. Yeah. Enable password. Okay. I can disable it. I'm gonna just copy it so that I can access this. Okay, so this is now my store. Everything is in demo mode. We don't have a team. We don't have anything. So this is the admin panel. You have your orders, products, customers. I'm not going to go into details. We're going to go into details later when we actually create the course. And they've got a nice thing where they take you through whatever. Add your first product, customize theme, add a domain, so you can follow those steps. Right now, because it's a clothing store, let's just say we're gonna add a simple product, t-shirt or whatever, some description. It's really straightforward. Okay, we can add some images. I don't think I have images here, but just let me find something. Okay, what to use. I'm gonna just use an ad or something. Yeah, I'm gonna use this. You can it automatically, based on my address, because it said Bulgaria, it automatically made the currency so it's BGN. This is our local currency. But when you create it in Ireland, it's gonna make it in euros. You're in euros, guys. Yeah. You can set a price. You can set a price at which it compares. So this would be the price with a slash. You can set a cost. You can charge taxes on this. Basically, this is very business specific, so I'm not going to go into it. You have tracking, inventory, quantity. Usually we don't track quantity, because otherwise when the quantity reaches zero, it's going to say out of stock. It might not be out of stock. And this is a physical product. What this means is that when someone tries to purchase it, they're going to have a step in the checkout, which is going to be for choosing a shipping method, because you can sell digital downloadable goods, and obviously they don't require shipping. The weight, it's not necessary, depending on how your payment provider is, how your shipping provider is structured. But let's add, I don't know, 1 kilo is a weight. They have some customs information, if it's going through customs and so on. I don't think that in your case it goes through customs. And this is a simple product. So this product, I'm gonna save it. Shopify has and I suggest that you create a demo store. You can create it without a partner's account. You can just do the free trial and experiment with it a bit. Just to get to know the interface. It's really simple to get. So now I can view the product in the store. It should be, yeah, I have preview. And this is it. It's basically an image, blah, blah, blah. I can add it to the cart. I can buy it now. This depends on the theme, how this is going to look. And I'm going to show you how we choose the theme usually. So this is a very simple product, but in the case of a t-shirt, you might want to have different options. So sizes, colors, whatever. So right at the bottom, you see these variants. When you click it, you say that it has multiple stuff. So sizes, let's say S, M, L, XL, for example. And you want another option, let's say color. And you can say red, green, for example. Okay. And for each of those options, you can have a different quantity, different price, whatever. So the price might be dependent on the size. So the S models might be cheaper or something like this. Okay. Then when you click save, you're gonna see it. Let's say you're gonna see it here with the different options, size and color, and it's gonna change the prices if there are different prices and so on. Another thing that you can do is, in the case of the clothing thing, you might want to show the different colors or the different, I don't know, looks of this if it has. So you can add different images for each option that you have. And you can upload an image. Let's say this is going to be for the S, which is red. I'm going to add just a random different image. Scan me. I don't know what this is. Okay, I'm gonna save it. Now when I choose S and red, it should, let me do a refresh. Okay. Since this is still a demo store, we need to just click the preview. So S and red is this image. If I go back to, if I have different images, let's say this is the main one. If I have different images, it's gonna just switch them. So S and red switches to this image. So this is adding products. It's a tedious task, but it's pretty straightforward. You can add it to collections. You can add a different tags to it. For now, you probably don't need it. Just give me a sec, because someone's on.
I have a question about the drop shipping.
Okay.
Do you think that Shopify maybe is it's the best platform to do your your drop shipping business?
Yeah, that's a nice question, because drop shipping has been really big since a couple of years ago. So Shopify for drop shipping is probably the go-to choice for most people. It would depend where you're gonna drop ship to. So if it's the States, the UK, Europe, and so on, but mainly the States and Canada, Shopify is a very good solution for this. And a large percentage of the stores actually are dropship stores, the Shopify stores. So they have a really nice integration with a software called Oberlo. It's, I'm gonna write it in the chat here in Zoom. So this software is
I think it's giving you the best products by suggestions, and you just integrate the product with the platform.
yeah, it's basically with Uberlo, you can browse for products mainly from China, and you can order. It automates the whole thing. So, for example, when someone orders something that you want to drop ship from China, and they have other countries, we've done it with China. It automatically makes the order to the corresponding supplier from China. They know that they need to send the order, and they know they need to send the order to the specific address of the customer. So it basically automates everything for you. The hard part, the tricky part here is finding the proper suppliers that can deliver, because a lot of them, they just don't deliver, that can deliver the thing that people actually ordered. And usually they have awful images, awful descriptions, and awful product names. So once you fetch the products from Oberlo, you would need to make some edits on your own, because not most, but a large portion of the images come with Chinese letter all over them. They have the quality isn't nice, and it seems spammy to people. So if you manage to find good providers, because there are good providers in China, a lot of them, they would have nice images, they would have properly English names and descriptions. But yeah, definitely to answer your question, Shopify can be used for this and is widely used. And Oberlo is just something that we've experimented with in the past, and it proved to work. Okay, going back, and again, we'll be having similar seminars. If you want, just write in Discord. I apologize, but I have another 10 or 15 minutes, so I'd like to go through Anthony's stuff. But we can have those meetings a lot more often if you guys want it. And all of this is going to get covered in an e-commerce course anyway. So going back to the clothing store. So this is the way that we've added the product. And again, you can add it in whatever way you want, different images, different prices, blah blah blah. So another thing that is part of the main setup would be choosing a theme. And again, if something is not clear, you can just write theme in the search, and it's going to take you to the theme screen. So you can browse free themes on Shopify store or paid themes. So depending on your budget, depending on what you want to do, there are a lot of nice free options. There are a lot of nice paid options. So the paid options are located in themes.shopify.com. You can access them through here, and there are a lot of themes. Basically, you can filter. You can filter by industry, clothing and fashion, for example, and single products, small catalogs, medium, large, blah blah blah. A lot of stuff to choose from. Usually, the themes that are in the Shopify stores, this is something that you guys need to know. Those are only themes which have been manually checked by the Shopify team. So no third-party teams from poor developers or designers are allowed. They check everything. They check the design, they check the UX, mobile versions, how it's coded, and so on. So those teams, they're a bit more expensive than what you might find on different websites, say Team Forest or Code Canyon. You can find Shopify teams there, definitely. But those teams are basically approved by Shopify. So they're going to work. And whatever they say they do in the team descriptions, when you go here, they do it. It's verified by Shopify. You can see feedbacks, reviews, and so on. So I suggest, at least in the beginning, and if you don't have any good coding skills, to just go with a theme provided by Shopify, either a free one or a paid one. So let's, in this case, go with this. Let's say simple. It's clothing theme. There are different styles included in it. We're just going to go with the light because it seems that it sells clothes. So we're going to install this. Okay, it's being added. blah, blah, blah. So Shopify is pretty straightforward. A few things to mention. Just when you add the theme, you need to say publish, because you can preview it, but you need to publish it in order for it to be visible to the world. So now it's visible to the world. When I do a refresh, I need to go here. I need to preview the product again. Okay. So when I do the preview, it's going to be with a different theme. As you can see, the menu is different, the navigation, the way the products look, and so on. So this is choosing a theme. And if you want to customize the theme, again, when you go into the themes, you can hit customize. And here is basically how you figure out which theme is good and which theme is bad. The good themes, the paid themes, they have a lot of options you can customize. You can customize how the header looks, how wide it is, to show announcements, to add taglines. You can have the sidebar menu with a lot of options, the collections, the footers. You can edit the product pages. Basically, Shopify made it so that a lot of the stuff that you would need to do, the simple stuff, let's say reorder something, adding images, logos, fonts, colors, whatever, is being done. Someone's in the chat. Yeah, and one of our team members just gave a link to the Oberlo. So good teams are the teams that have a lot of options. So this, I've never worked with this team. I don't know what options it has, but the thing with the free teams is that you can experiment. You can download 5, 10 teams, whatever. You can play with them, you can work with them and see which one works for you. So going back to it, I think that you can do this also for some of the paid teams. They also have demos. So you can, let's say, industry clothing. Let's say that we're going to clothing, and we want, I don't know, let's say this avenue. And you can click try theme. This is for the development stores, and we're going to get this. Okay, Anthony is coming back. So yeah, until it comes back, this is going to load. So some of the teams, the paid teams in the Shopify store, they offer a free trial for actually trying the theme, seeing how the theme is going to look in your store. This is an example for this. And when we go into the products again, this is in the way. Okay, so we can do the preview. And yeah, so basically you can try the themes, some of the themes in different ways. You can see how it looks. Obviously it looks bad right now, it doesn't have anything, but you can just play with it a bit. One of the themes that we've been using a lot, and keep in mind that we've customized the theme a lot, is Alexander, what was the theme name? I forgot it. Can you just post it in the chat? Impulse, yeah, Impulse. So one of the themes that we've been using the most is Impulse. Themes.shopify.com. So this is a really nice theme. It costs $180, but we've used it basically for the last 3 or 4 stores we've ever created. We customize it a lot, but it's got a lot of features that would cover 99% of basically your needs. So this is a nice theme to use, Impulse. I'm gonna send it in the chat. And again, it's paid, but it's so far it's been worth it. Chat. I'm not a Zoom person. Yeah. So Alexander sent it to in the chat. Okay, so this would be adding a theme. And Anthony, you didn't miss anything much. Basically, some of the themes you can experiment with. You can try them on. Some of the paid themes. It's not for all teams. And some of the themes, all the free themes, you can just try them on and see which one works for you. And someone needs. Another thing in actually doing the store. So now we have our first product. Now we have a team. I'm gonna mute Anthony. And this is part of the basic setup. So in choosing the other stuff, which are, let's say, general settings, you go to just either you type preferences or settings. So you can add a homepage title, description. You can paste your Google Analytics code. You can set up a Facebook pixel. You can enable Google reCAPTCHA, add or remove the password. You can add some GDPR thing, which is just one checkbox away, and you can do it. So those are some settings. Other settings are here. Let's say general. You can change the store name, the contact address, the store address, the format. So you can change it to grams. You can change it to the imperial system. You can change the currency from here. One thing to note is that Shopify in its current state does not support multi-currency and multi-language, meaning that if you want to create, your store has to be single language, single currency. Shopify Plus, which costs a lot, it starts from around $2,000 a month, and they take a percentage of your revenue, and the minimum requirement is that you make $1 million in revenue for the last 12 months. So this with Shopify Plus, you can have the multi-currency, multi-language, multi-blah blah blah. But an important thing to know is that Shopify is single currency, single language. There are some apps that can make it multi-currency, which use Google Finance's exchange rates, but the customer in the checkout is always going to see your main store currency and always going to pay in your main store currency. So for example, an app might convert the dollars to euros, for example, but if dollar is the main currency of the store, dollars is what customers are going to pay. My internet. Okay. So this is an important thing to note. Another thing, let's say now we have a team. It looks awful, but we have it. We have a demo product, and now we need to figure out how we're going to ship and how customers are going to pay for it. Again, I always use the search. We just type payments, and resources means that this is on the Shopify help section. Payment provider settings within the Shopify admin. Here it is what we're looking for. So because this is a demo store, it's not currently active. It's not being paid by anyone. So this would the checkout here is disabled. So there's no way we can preview the checkout. And on that note, Shopify, keep in mind that the checkout of all the Shopify stores is inaccessible to us as developers or store administrators or whatever. So their checkout is their own. And apart from us translating the checkout and, of course, adding payments and shipping methods, we cannot do anything else. We cannot reorder it, make it different. Whatever we get, that's it. They've tried to make it standard, and they've tried to use their knowledge of how people shop to make it the best possible experience. But it has some limitations. And those limitations, for example, we've had it with a European client who needed to who wanted, actually, before they had GDPR enabled, he wanted to add just a checkbox within the checkout saying, I agree that my personal data is going to get processed, whatever. We couldn't do that. That was impossible. And we're developers, so they don't allow this. Again, if you go to Shopify Plus, they allow this, but again, Shopify Plus costs a lot of money. So the checkout is customizable. You can change the logos, the colors, add payment methods, add nodes, blah blah blah. Translate it. So if you don't like how something is worded, of course you can change it. But adding stuff to it, removing stuff from it, this is impossible, unfortunately. And this is somewhat of an issue. But for the 99% of the store owners, or for drop shipping or whatever, it's not an issue. So just a note. So you've got a lot of payment providers here, and this is one of the questions that you need to ask yourself when you start selling somewhere. So how would you like people to pay? One of the most accessible things, of course, is PayPal. But PayPal, basically, when choosing a provider, you need to be aware of the limitations of that provider. For example, PayPal is PayPal is accessible. PayPal has no fees. You get the money right away. But PayPal has a no questions asked 60-day refund. So someone buys something from you, within 60 days, they can just tell PayPal, give me back my money, and PayPal is going to give them back their money. And it's up to you guys to go to PayPal and say, hey, this guy, I don't want to give him back the money. He has no right to this money. Basically, it's for you to defend your own money. This is the PayPal case. And when we join from your PayPal account to a bank account, it's got a lot of taxes. So this is something that you need to think in advance. How are you going to collect the money? So usually Shopify has something called Shopify Payments. This is their own payment provider. It's on top of Stripe. I don't know if you've heard Stripe as a payment provider. But Shopify Payments is a really nice solution, but unfortunately, it works only in the States, Canada, Germany, UK, and it's only for companies from the States, Canada, Germany, and UK. So if you're a job shipper, you might be selling in the USA with dollars and so on, but unless your company is registered in the US and you have physical proof, so you have a utility bill or an address or whatever in the US, Shopify Payments is not going to be available to you. But again, you've got third-party providers which can handle 99% of what you need, and it's very, very accessible. So they use Stripe. Stripe is one of the biggest payment providers right now. They're constantly expanding their list of countries. They've included Bulgaria, which is where we're based, and Bulgaria is a pretty small company with its country with its own currency. So that means that probably most of the currencies and countries that you need are going to be covered by Stripe, and you can go to stripe.com and check the list of countries. So you can set up Stripe, or you can see all the supported providers, and there's a lot. There are a lot of payment providers with Shopify support, and Stripe is their main one. To checkout, Authorize, checkout.com. Those are some of the main ones. But you have AirPay, I don't know, High Trust, iCount, iPay. It's basically in Germany, you would have the German providers. In the UK, you'd have the UK providers and so on. Most of the times, Stripe works for you. And this is the example that I'm going to do. And when you set up a payment provider, you have a couple of ways to do it. So one of the Stripe is going to take you through a setup wizard, which is going to ask you, hey, log into your Stripe account. And as soon as you log into your Stripe account, it's going to set up everything automatically. But if that's not the case, if you're not using Stripe or whatever, you can, let's say, for example, we're going to be using authorize.net. That's a very common provider. Most of the times, the payment provider settings in Shopify are going to ask you for two things: API login ID and transaction key. And if you don't know how to get it, it's different for each and every payment provider. But usually when you Google, I don't know, authorize.net, get API login ID, you're going to see. So basically you paste those two, you choose which payment methods you want to accept. So you might not want to accept, I don't know, American Express for whatever reason. You can choose this, and you can enable test mode to test it all out. The good thing with Shopify and with all the payment providers that Shopify supports is that they just work. As soon as you paste those things in within Shopify, there's nothing more you need to do. It's gonna work. This disclaimer: AuthorizeNet does not support TV secure with Shopify, which is required to comply. Blah blah blah. So obviously, if you're gonna use if you're gonna sell in the European Union, if your company is registered there in the European Union, as is our current company in the demo store, Authorize might not be a good solution, and Shopify tells you that. 99% of the time, you're going to use Stripe. We're using Stripe for the portal. You guys seen the checkout? We've custom coded it, but on the back end, it's Stripe to process the payments. Okay, so this is setting up payments. Setting up shipping. Again, you type shipping. shipping settings. And the shipping screen is something that takes some getting used to. So you have a lot of options here. You have carrier calculated services, which basically, if you're a FedEx member, if you have a FedEx account, you might be eligible for this. And this would actually, based on the weight of the order and the size of the products and the price and whatever agreement you have with FedEx or USPS or DHL, those might calculate automatically the shipping price during the checkout process. So this is something that's a bit common in the States and in Canada. It's not that common in the rest of the world, but in the States, it's very common for people wanting and expecting to pay just as much as they need to pay, not more, not less. So carrier calculated rates is something that works great in the States, but it requires for you to have everything set up with the payment provider. And I see in the chat. Yeah, that could be said, but then again, the CMS, as in CMS, is limited, and you're right that it depends on what you want to achieve. But I can give an example. This store, which is Shopify, and this is the Impulse team that we've custom coded. We have this in the case studies. This store makes probably close to 10 million in revenue per year in the States. And it's Shopify, and it's not Shopify Plus. It's a regular Shopify. So it has its limitations. It all depends on what you need to do with it and what team you have behind it to do it. But yeah, it has its limitations. But when starting out, because I've built a similar platform in Bulgaria. It's again something that's really close to Shopify. Again, you can create your store, manage everything with a few clicks. My personal suggestion would be, unless you have a lot of money to spend and unless you're a developer and like to go into this stuff, choose Shopify or similar for your online store. Doing Magento or OpenCart or WordPress with WooCommerce, yeah, it could be cheaper at the beginning because it's free. Yeah, Dimitri is laughing, but it's gonna be a lot more expensive in the long run. We've tried it. So this story that I showed you with Dreamcatchers, the pink one, it used to be in WooCommerce. Now it's not, and there's a reason behind it. Shopify, yeah, it has its limitations. Yeah, it has stuff that you're gonna find out is really annoying and it's gonna make you swear at them and hate them a lot, but it gets the job done. It's similar to an Apple phone. An Apple phone, you cannot customize it all that much. An Android phone can be a lot more customizable, but much like Apple, Shopify simply works. It gets the job done. So shipping methods, you can manage a lot. So let's say most cases you don't have carrier calculated, you have a fixed price for whatever it goes. So when you click on manage rates, first you need to say, where do you ship to? So automatically it's configured that I ship from the address that I created the store from, and it knows that this address is in Bulgaria. So it's created a sample shipping rate for me, which is called standard, and it's free. Let's say I want to use this. I don't want it to be called standard. I want it to be called fast shipping. This is what customers are going to see in the checkout, and I want this to cost 5 BGN. Fast shipping, and I can add 2-3 days or 1-2 days because it's fast. Okay. So this is the thing that the customers are going to see when they check out, and you can have a lot of shipping methods here. You can work with a lot of providers, and you can have shipping methods which are based on some conditions. So, for example, most people just have 1 or 2 shipping methods, and they don't rely on anything. But you can say, I want my prices to be based on weight. So if the weight is, I don't know, below 10 kilos, it's going to cost that much. And I can add a new rate, which is fast shipping. Again, called in the same way. and my condition would be minimum weight 11 kilos to 20 kilos. And I know that this is going to cost me more money to ship, so I want the customer to pay more money for this. And this is going to cost 7 BGN. And you can create all of this. You can add shipping rates which are based on price. So for example, if the order is above 300 leva, I want to have free shipping. So it doesn't matter the weight, it's going to be free. And here it is. If the weight is within 10 kilos, 5 BGN. If it's within 20 kilos, 7 BGN. If it's above $300 or whatever, it's free. And here is for Bulgaria. And this is something that's automatically done rest of the world, but you might not want to ship in the rest of the world. So you might want to edit zone, and you might want to remove it altogether, or say that you ship to Asia only, or you can search United, so United Kingdom, and you can configure rates for the UK. Or you can just delete it and ship only in a single place or the whole world or whatever. You're very free to do whatever you want with the shipping. And again, the carrier calculated rates are here. And it says that there are no apps or carrier calculated rates available for this zone for Bulgaria. So if this were the States, I would have options. So this is setting up the shipping, the payments, a product, a team, and some other stuff. Just let me go to the products again. I'm gonna add this to the cart, and I'm gonna check out. It's not gonna allow me. Checkout isn't available. Yeah. So the thing is that this is something that's really annoying for me in Shopify, is that on demo stores you can build the whole thing, but you cannot enable the checkout even for testing purposes unless you actually choose a plan. And Dimitar just reminded me to check the discounts. I'm going to do that. I just want to mention this. And so this is developing a store for a client. And now when you're all done, the client is happy, he's seen everything, everything's configured and so on. Comes the time where you would actually transfer this store to a client. He's going to get an email with instructions what to do, and he needs to choose a payment plan. And I'm now going to go through the payment plans, cover what we have there, and then I'm going to go through the discounts real quick. So Shopify, the basic Shopify is all the basics for starting a new business, and trust me, this is 95% of the time it's going to work for you. It's $29 per month, and you get some discounts if you prepay for a year or 2 years or whatever. So you have an online store, some limited products, 2 staff members, so 2 separate people can log into the store, manage orders, and so on. 99% of the time this works for you. 27 support from Shopify. You have different sales channels. What are sales channels? The first sales channel you have is the online store itself, but when you connect your Facebook pixel, you automatically get Facebook store and Instagram store, which are only 1 click away, and it's auto integrated with Instagram and Facebook. Locations, so you can have different locations. This is something new, so I haven't used this yet that much, but you might have different locations where you have the products in different warehouses. And if you enable this is a bit of a hassle to manage, but if you have a large business with a lot of warehouses, you cannot go without this. So the locations, for example, you can say that in location A, let's say in Texas, in Dallas, I have the red shirt 1,000 with 1,000 quantity. I have 1,000 red shirts. And when you configure the shipping methods, you can choose each and every shipping method depending on the region, which warehouses it's going to use. So let's say that we have warehouse B, which is in New York, and we have a quantity of 100 for the red shirt. So Shopify is going to try to figure out automatically which is the closest location to the shipping address of the customer, and based on your configurations, and try to remove quantity from that location. So for example, if I want to order from Houston, which is in Texas, where Dallas is, where my warehouse is, I would get the quantity deducted from that warehouse. If I order from New Jersey or Pennsylvania, it's closer to New York, so it's going to get pulled from there. But this is something that we still haven't used because it's very client specific, and our client has different warehouse management than this. So we don't use this right now. Manual order creation is a great thing where you can accept orders over the phone. So for example, someone wants to order something, they don't want to go through the hassle of going through the website and browsing. They can just call you over the phone, and an administrator in your account can just go to orders, create order, enter everything, and just send an email to the customer saying, hey, okay, this is your order, this is your address, just click here, pay, and the order is going to get shipped. This is very convenient for phone orders. Discount codes, and I'm going to get into that. Free SSL certificate, meaning that everything that Shopify has is SSL protected, meaning HTTPS. This also counts when you import your own custom domain. So this is a nice thing. You don't need to buy an SSL. Abandoned cart recovery. This is something that Dimitar is going to get in a lot of detail when the actual e-commerce store course starts. This is, you know what it is. This is when someone abandons their checkout and doesn't pay. It has automatic emails with reminders. You can add discount codes to them. You can do a lot of stuff. You get gift cards, which is, you know what gift cards are. And you don't get professional reports. In my honest opinion, with the store with millions of revenue per year, I've used the custom reports twice. So in my opinion, this is something that is nice to have, but it's not worth $50 a month more. Advanced report builder, same thing. Carrier calculated rates. As you can see, they're only available in the highest Shopify, but there's something that Shopify is not telling you here. You can message the Shopify support, even on the basic Shopify, and tell them, hey, I want carrier calculated rates, and they're going to add it to your account for $10 a month on top of it. So you don't need to pay $270 just for this. And you have shipping discounts if you use some of those providers. This is the important thing. So the payments, Shopify takes, if you use Shopify payments, Shopify takes money for every transaction that it processes on your behalf. So if, for example, you're on the basic Shopify plan, someone pays you $100, Shopify is going to take 2.9%, meaning $2.9 plus 30 cents. This might seem a lot, but it's not a lot, because the other payment providers, all of them take a fee, all of them. So Stripe is something close to this, Authorize, everything takes a fee. And the most important thing, which might make you switch to the top plan, is this. So if you use your own payment provider, and most of the times, if you don't have an American company or a Canadian company, you're going to use a third-party provider, such as Stripe, Authorize, PayPal, whatever. Shopify is going to take 2% of every transaction. And on top of that, your payment provider is going to take whatever it takes. So for example, 3%. So when someone pays you $100, and this is something really important to get in the business math of your online store, is that if you get $100 with these settings, you don't get $100, you get $95. And this is something which is important. And of course, the higher you go with the Shopify plans, the less this tax actually is. The other stuff, I'm not gonna go into this, but most of the times, basic Shopify is what works for you. The last thing that I want to go into right now is just tell you that in the settings, you can make customer accounts optional, or you can disable them, meaning you can say, in order for a customer to be able to purchase from the store, he needs to create an account. Those accounts are required. Accounts are optional, where people don't need to create an account, but Shopify during the checkout is going to give them an option to create an account for faster checkout. And the third option is disable customer accounts. So people cannot register, they don't have accounts, they don't have profiles. Usually, if you don't need the customers to register, we suggest making the accounts optional. Because especially first-time customers, it might be off-putting, and they might close your store if you say, hey, you cannot order, make a registration. So accounts are optional is probably the go-to thing here. Last thing I'm going to show you is, okay, two last things. So Shopify is three last things, sorry. So Shopify has a lot of themes. It works out of the box, but you can extend it with apps. And apps is the one single thing, in my opinion, that made Shopify what it is today. Shopify, from a development perspective, they have great APIs. You can basically do 99% of the stuff. You can custom code it, and that's what we do for customers. But there are tons of apps, and when I say tons of apps, you can do whatever you want with it. So you can search. You have TikTok apps, Facebook apps, Instagram apps, discount apps, subscription apps, SMS apps, whatever you want. There's probably thousands and thousands of apps here. Those apps are, again, they are verified by Shopify, so they won't steal your data, they won't mess up your store. And you've got, let's look for an app. Okay, let's say that you want to run those awful promotions in the top, in the bottom left corner, saying, "Hey, John from Michigan just bought this curry. You're gonna miss it." And this is fake. We've used these apps. Michigan and John are something you input, so they're not real. But let's say upsell, because this is really modern now. And for upsell, you have 404 results just for upsell apps. And you can sort by reviews. Let's say this has close to 2,000 reviews and a 5-star review. So this is an app that's gonna work. You have apps which have 3 or 4 reviews, so those probably won't work for you. And they reconvert. So they tell you what they have. You can build your own thank you landing page. You can do whatever, track it. This is their full description with everything that they can do, with everything that they integrate with. This is some images. This is the pricing of the app, because almost all the apps are priced. So this is going to be on top of your Shopify subscription. But hey, you get a lot of stuff. You get video, images, birthday reminders, tracking, upselling. You can go to their example store and see how it looks. Here is they have upsell within the checkout. So those are premium Shopify app partners. They have access to it. And as you can see on the checkout, you get some silly stuff which would actually make people buy more, or something like this. Spending time in the Shopify app store is something that takes a lot of time, but you can find a solution for 99% of your problems. Whatever Shopify doesn't have, there's probably at least 5 or 10 apps that offer it. So whatever limitation you might find, look in the app store first before trying to do it yourself, or before just giving up on Shopify. They have a ton of apps. This is, in my opinion, again, this is one of the main reasons why Shopify is as big as it is, the apps.
Timo, if I can add on top of that, something that's actually quite important. The main reason why we use Shopify for most of the stuff is that a lot of the apps that you're going to use for marketing, whether it's email marketing or your CRM or your whatever system that you need for tracking, or Facebook pixels or Google Analytics or anything new that comes out like TikTok, is probably going to have a free app in the app marketplace. So you don't need to actually integrate, let's say, Klavio in your online store. You just download the free app. Same with HubSpot, same with all the rest of the important marketing softwares that you are going to be using in your tech stack anyway. So that's kind of one of the biggest things about the store.
Klavio, for example, because, and you're going to see it in the next course, email marketing, is our favorite email provider. So we're going to go in a lot of detail for Klavio and the whole integration with everything. And Klavio is a free app for Shopify. Basically, you need to pay for your Klavio account if you're going to use more than 250 emails, but it's an app developed by Klavio, so it's free to install, and it works automatically. All your customers, all their products, everything's going to work out of the box, just with 2 clicks. This is the strength of Shopify. Almost everything that you want, you can do with this. Okay, so those are the apps. Now for the discounts. So discounts is something that is quite tricky within Shopify. We've had a lot of issues. Their discounts are, in my opinion, dumb. So they could have done it a lot better. So the things that you need to know about Shopify discounts is that there are two types. One would be with discount codes. This is fairly straightforward. You can create a discount. You can have Shopify generate the code automatically or write something special or whatever you want the code to be. You can say it's for a fixed amount of $10. It gives you free shipping everywhere or in select countries. It gives you a percentage. It applies to specific product collections, to specific products even, or to the whole order. It can have minimum requirements. Let's say this discount would be active only if the person has over $100 in their cart or has ordered a minimum amount of 5 products. It can be eligible to specific groups of customers, to a specific customer even. You can issue custom discounts. It has, you can limit it to 1 use per customer. It has active dates, start and end. It can be, you can limit the total amount of users. Basically, you can configure a lot of stuff with it, with the discounts. So this is great. Leaving the page, you can have automatic discounts, which basically you can say, I want to discount 20% of all my summer clothes because it's winter. I want to sell the summer collections. And again, a lot of stuff. The thing that you need to know about the discounts, and this is really important. First, the discounts are only applied in the standard Shopify setup in the checkout. So there are themes that are going to allow you and apps that are going to allow you to have a discount box within the cart or somewhere within the store. But the default functionality is that discount code is only available within the Shopify checkout. This is not something so unusual, and I'm going to show you here what I mean where it is, but it's something that you guys need to know. So let's say that I want to buy this here. I'm going to go to the checkout, and you're going to see how the checkout of Shopify looks now. So this is some data, some sample addresses, because this is my test account. And here is the field for the discount code in the right. There's nowhere else you can put it on your own. And the thing that really bugs me about those discounts is that you cannot combine discounts. So as soon as you enter one discount code, no more discounts. And what's worse is that if you say, let's say I want to give 20% off all my summer clothes because it's winter and I want to get rid of the stock, once an automatic discount is applied, so once the person meets the criteria, for example, they have a blouse in there, the blouse gets the 20% discount, but on the checkout, this field is going to be disabled. So Shopify has a 1 discount per order policy, which is awful because you cannot do a store-wide discount of 20%, and on top of that, give people some more incentive to buy different discount codes. So this is something that I personally really hate about Shopify. This is something which has cost us a lot of development hours, as you can see, adding more, because we wanted to have functionality where when you buy 4 pieces of gear, you get the 5th one for free. Shopify has this as an automatic discount, so it's going to work. But on top of that, we want to give discount codes to our customers. And using the Shopify way to do it actually disables the discount codes, which doesn't work. And funny story is that we found out this after we promised and sold this to the client. So it was a lot of coding effort on my side, which looked like this to do it. Thousands of lines of code to actually be able to trick Shopify into allowing me this. What else? And I don't know if any of you guys are tech savvy. You can edit apart from customizing the theme, where you can use the different theme options to click and change colors and fonts and so on, you can actually work with the theme code. So you can edit the code of the theme. You can edit the the HTML and JavaScript code of the whole team, and this is for all teams on Shopify. This is what, in my opinion, separates the Shopify platform from all the others, because they don't allow you to change their main core functionality. So, for example, how the discounts work, but they allow you to change everything else. You can reorder the team whatever way you want, as long as you know what you're doing, or hire a developer. And there are a lot of developers who do that. We do that. And you can basically get one team and transform it in such a way that it works for your business, that it fits your business. You can add, for example, here, based on the type of account you have, when you go into your account, you can show different banners. You can do stuff like, hey, if the customer has spent more than $1,000, I want them to see this. If they have spent less, see the other thing. If they do X, we do Y. And you can do a lot of stuff. You can create your custom ordering of products, custom sorting, make the product pages look a lot better. As you can see, we can make this stick when we scroll. All of this is added custom by us. No team by default uses it. The reviews we've added custom. Those videos, because when you click this is a video. This we've added custom. So you can basically do whatever you want with it from a front end perspective without changing the way that it works. You can change the way that it looks, feels, and the way that people use it. So this is one of the things that I love the most about Shopify. And what I suggest you guys do now is, if you plan on working with customers where you would actually set up their store, because it's not hard, trust me, it's not hard. I suggest that you create Shopify partner accounts. And when you create a store, such as we've created right now, and I'm going to search for transfer. So the customer would pay you. You would actually and I forgot where it was, but doesn't matter. So a customer would pay you to do this. You would set up their store, help them set up the tracking, everything that you're going to learn in the e-commerce course. We're going to be using Shopify, plus integrate the Google Analytics, the Facebook within it, Klavio for the email. The Shopify, the e-commerce course is going to basically take everything that we've learned so far and make it into a working store business, implement everything. So a lot more detail, you're going to see how everything works. But my suggestion for now, what to take off from this, so we're going to try to upload this talk that we've had right now, so that you guys can browse it and share it with, and we can share it with the other guys. But my suggestion would be either go to shopify.com, start a free trial, get into the panel, start messing a bit with it. Shopify has great community. Whatever you Google within Shopify, someone's already solved it. So create a store and play with it a bit, because it takes some getting used to. And if you plan on providing this service to customers, which I strongly suggest that you do, when someone wants a store for you guys to create it, you don't need to code it. You just need to be more familiar with how it goes than the customer. So for customers, this process, if they don't know it, is going to be hard, and you guys would have had some more time with it, experience. So setting up a store with 30 or 40 products, if you have all the data, so the product, the prices and images, it takes less than a day to make a working store with payments and everything. So it takes less than 1 day to do it with Shopify. Yeah, it's going to be a bit more basic. Yeah, if you want some specific functionalities, you would need to look for apps and experiment with this. But to get a store up and running, it takes less than a day with Shopify. And when you do and transfer the ownership to the client and they start paying, you're going to start getting 20% of what they pay to Shopify back to you. And this is something that really over time it starts to build up. The one bad news is that Shopify are thinking about removing this referral thing. I don't know why, but soon probably it's going to be gone. But anyways, I suggest that if you're gonna work with multiple clients on their e-commerce, making the marketing or the email marketing or business strategy, marketing strategy, whatever, I suggest that you create your own partner account. It's free. You fill in a bunch of forms, but it's not hard. And then you can manage all of your stores through here. So I can log into all the stores of my customers. I can do whatever I want with them because I've created them. So I have, apart from looking at their payment data and buying apps on their behalf, I can do everything I want. You can see your referrals here. You can see your payouts. We used to get some money and it's $30-$40, but over the course of 2 years, it sums up to a nice amount, $2,000-$3,000, which is free money. So yeah, play with it a bit. I know it seems a lot right now, but it really isn't. It's just getting used to it. We've created, I can show you one last thing. We've created this store, which is we sell cosmetics here in Bulgaria. So this store, again, a lot of it is custom. They have a lot of products and discounts and pages and about pages and with a lot of images. But this took us less than a week to custom code, deploy, and make the first sale. If this were a standard store, you could really deploy it in less than a day with Shopify. Again, it has its limitations. It's something that you need to keep track of, but it's something that 99% of the time is going to get your job done. Unless you're a brand like, I don't know, Walmart or Best Buy or something that has billions of revenue and products and so on, then Shopify doesn't work for you. But dropshipping, having a small store or not a small store, as we gave an example with our client who makes millions of revenue, and all of the 3 brands that this client supports, all of them are Shopify, all of them are done by us, and currently we had no issues with it, 2 years and counting. So yeah, it was supposed to take 20 minutes. It actually took a bit more than that. But again, I've been using Shopify for 3 years on a daily basis. So I don't want to say big words, but I basically know everything there is to know. So whatever questions you might have right now or later, you can just ping me in Discord. We're gonna upload this. And Anthony, I don't know how much of this you managed to hear, but I hope that I've at least answered some of your questions. And I suggest you guys, when you have the time, just go and play with it. It's not that hard, and it's probably the thing that you're going to be using when working with clients on a freelance basis or agency basis, because Shopify is starting to expand a lot. A lot of European countries are fully supported, meaning that their store is automatically translated into German with all the German shipping and payment providers. For the US, Canada, it holds the majority of the stores. They have hundreds of thousands of stores there. And it's growing all the time. So within 4 or 5 years, Shopify is going to be available, at least in my opinion, in each and every country with the local currencies, local languages, local shipping and payment providers. This is their plan. They wanna be the #1 e-commerce solution for the whole world. Right now, they're the #1 in the USA and Canada, and pushing strongly in the UK and Germany and France. But within a couple of years, Shopify is going to be the standard in such a way that WordPress is the standard when doing blogs and CMSs.